have been playing Lord of the Rings Rise to War for over a month now, and I have consulted with some people who've been playing since the beta about a very accurate tier list, or at least the best we could muster for the tier 1 good commanders in the game. So stick around for the breakdown of the ladder ranking all of the best T1 commanders and why you should use them. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and today we're putting together a tier list. I have waited a long time to do this because I wanted the information to be accurate. And a big thank you and shout out goes to the fellowship leader of TSOM, based in server 9, who helped me come up with a better understanding of what this list should potentially look like. And I'm pretty much going with their recommendation here. We had some really good debate around kind of why things work the way they do and where these commanders should go. And I was a little bit surprised, color me convinced on where some of these go. And, well, I mean, let's just start, okay, with the worst T1 commander to be investing in. And it's not that you can't use them for stuff. Hergon is, unfortunately, the big F. Sorry, guys. I know people are really into him. They're like, whoa, sieging. Let me show you his talents. The thing that he does that no other T1 commander has is extra siege damage. The way that this works is that every unit does a certain amount of siege damage. This is boosting that siege damage number by a set amount, +7, which actually is a lot. The way you would want to do this is have units with 100 troops in them so that you're getting 700 extra siege damage for those 100 troops, right? Every unit does siege damage plus 7 total it adds up, okay? But here's the thing. Nobody cares about sieging, really. Like, sieging is important, but any commander can do it. And the thing is that I get it. You might be limited on troops, but at the end of the day, like, I want commanders that are combat effective, and being able to siege is cool. It's a unique role. I appreciate the unique nature of this role, but I want commanders that can go slay other players so that sieging is even a relevant thing. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with sieging, that is when you are attacking a building, and in order to actually capture it, like a crossing, okay, like a keep, you have to wear down the siege durability before you actually get it. That's where siege damage is good. That's what he does. He's got some march speed. That's really nice. But the rest of his combat stuff, like, yeah, he's got a little bit of healing periodically, but he doesn't have any really crazy, overpowered mechanics that you can go all in on. Everything here is just fine, but not exceptional. Now, if you've got proof that he's an amazing fighter, I want to see it. Leave a comment down below, and I'm eager to talk about it. But until I see that proof, I'm giving him the F. Now, the next best commander, you've heard me maybe not sing his praises here, and that's Faramir. Gosh bless Faramir. I don't know why they couldn't have given you some cooler role, but instead they really did have to, like, hone in on that sentiment from the movies that you were second best, because to Boromir, you are second best. Yikes! Now, okay. Joking aside, why is it that he's not amazing? He's a tipper. And the problem with tippers is that they have less combat options. But not only that, if we pull up his talents, the real problem is that he doesn't have a great mechanic that you can go all in on. So, yes, he does have men damage boost. And this is all but mandatory. If you get him to loyalty 5, you need that men damage boost. But if you're low loyalty, just forget using him, man. Like, I was using him in the start of the game, okay? The first time I played. And then I couldn't get combat points anymore. I had to start putting them into last steward tip time. I don't care about that. Look, if you manage your time well, you got plenty of time to do all your tips. So I don't think that he is a top tier commander, especially if you have low loyalty. You have more options at high levels of loyalty. But even though I'm kind of going all in on, I guess right now it's Haldier at the start of this, I mean, I'm not using my ale on him, but even though I'm kind of trying to push the bounds with what I can do and I'm still only loyalty 3. And I get that I'm only a couple days in right now, but I just think that if you're in the early game, Faramir is not going to serve you well if you start to invest in him early. If you do, you had better get him to loyalty 3 really fast so that you get more combat options, because it sure did suck when I had to start putting things into these tipping talents. Ugh, back to the tier list, yeah? At the C tier, only slightly better than Faramir, is Boromir. Now, some people will argue he is way better, and they might be right. They may be correct in that battling against other players, he has a better role than I've given him credit for. This could be true. But he really needs you to specialize in men to get the benefit of using him. And I'll show you that. The magic of Boromir is also the downfall of Boromir. Nobility, men damage boost right there. Look, if you chose men as one of your starting races, like, yeah, okay, now we're talking. This could be very good. The majority of your units are men. But if you didn't, you have a big problem, okay? And that's the thing I struggle with him, is that, like, I'm not using men. This is his best set of points right over here by a long shot. And if you have those points, he's very, very good. The rest of what he's doing is fine, but I didn't find anything in here that was completely overpowered. There's nothing in here that I saw that was so unique and so amazing that it really helped you in a situation that was disproportionately good. He's average. He's solidly average. And when you use him with men, he gets a little bit more edge that makes him potentially worth using. But that's the best I could give him. Now, a step above Boromir is a commander I'm using a lot because I got him to start, and that is Haldier. Now, I have used Haldier extensively. I've tried to make him work with beasts, and the results were really mediocre at best. Like, yeah, I was using beasts, and it was Haldier, but it wasn't overpowered. In fact, I'd run into other armies that I'm going to talk about very soon that would just run me over, and it was kind of disappointing at times, okay? I'm pumping all this gold into eagles, and it just didn't work the way that I had hoped it would. Now, with that said, you go all in on ranged units, and it's pretty good, and his healing is actually very important. Let me show it to you. The thing that I like about Haldier is Guide, making it so that your first couple rounds you do extra physical damage. Well, that's really good for most tile taking, as is this healing ability, Armed Escort. So I think it's really important to get both of those abilities. That's where I put my first points at. Well, after I did I think a little bit of March Warden. I think you had to have 5 points over here before you unlock the bottom tree. And you do want at least 1 point in March Warden to make it so that every 2 rounds, 1 unit avoids damage. Like, that's really good. Even though I'm not boosting damage all that much when I put more points into this ability, the base point is really good. And then I made my way over to Sylvan Elf, and I'm going all in on the ranged plan with Haldier, and I really think that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get him to Loyalty 5, and you're supposed to use primarily ranged units, if not all ranged units. That might possibly be the case, and you need to defend with him. While defending, allied units' physical damage received by a ridiculous amount. Yeah, that's his gimmick. Defend, use ranged units. It's true to the movie. I dig it. And I gave him a C. That's as good as I could give him. But he is solid. I am glad to use him. He will be one of the 6 commanders I'm probably running around with when I am fighting other players. Now, this brings us up to the B tier, and you probably didn't expect this. I didn't expect it either, but in chatting, I learned that actually, Merry and Pippin are pretty solid. Now, what is it that they're doing? They have healing, and they boost their damage over time, but they only get decent at loyalty level 5. So if you're thinking, I'm going to go all in on Merry and Pippin, I would pump the brakes. If you had them loyalty level 5, then and only then could you consider this, and let me show you that build. The secret to Merry and Pippin is this ability right over here, Fanaticism. All melee units boost their damage each round. And this goes up and up and up. So when you max level this, it's 5%, I'm told. And that means by round 5, you're doing 25% more damage. And round 10, you're doing 50% more damage. Whoa. It's a big damage boost that stacks up over time. And the key is that you are going all in on healing abilities over here at the start. So you actually survive to the later part with a bunch of troops. And then, boom, you just are like cranking up your damage, which is pretty wild. Now, I haven't tested this. This is what I'm told. I'm told it's good. I'm told it's tanky. I would be very eager to kind of see how that works. But loyalty level 5 makes this a very unreasonable hunt for most players that are new to the game. Maybe in the second season you could consider it. I wouldn't consider this as a top tier investment for your first season. No, but we're getting real close to some of those. Let's jump back to the tier list. Now we're getting to the top tier commanders. And I'm going to put all 3 of these on the screen because there's only 3. So, you know, there's not that much surprise left, okay? And then I'm going to show you exactly why they belong there. We're going to go with Ori. We're going to go with Dwalin as a cut above. And then Éowyn right on top. S tier and deserving of it. So let's jump in game. Let's walk through why it is that I think these go in these spots. And hopefully you'll be on board as well with these exact choices and why we've made them. The thing that's really strong about Ori is that he's got a good amount of healing right at the start. And you can pair that, by the way, with this ability over here, Warrior of the Lonely Mountain. Now I know this is a loyalty 5 ability. That's up there. But if you get this combination, the thing that's super OP is that you can go and take down dragons, you can go take down demons, and lose almost no troops whatsoever and pull down like 1,000,000 gold per. Like, it's crazy how much gold you can fetch from that, and it's really good for taking tiles. So I think that Ori is really solid. The only downside is low loyalty. He has Clerk, giving you focus, and then tipping. Disgusting. I don't want any of that. So he's fine, okay? But compared to Dwalin, who has more combat options right at the start, I can't imagine a world in which you wouldn't just pick Dwalin and go with him instead. This is the way I would do it. This is what I did on the first time around where I ran the game. I pushed the loyalty very far to Dwalin, got him to 5, sat on dragons, and collected their gold. It was freaking sweet, man. Now, granted, I don't know. If you don't need eagles, okay, then like, how much do you need the gold? You're not going to need it all that much in the late game of things. But I will say the burn damage received, that reduction right over here, is not just good for dragons and demons, but it's also good for taking high-level tiles. And, he's got Giant Slayer, so extra damage to large units. I really liked him, and every option here is a combat option. He is a very solid, very easy to use, hard to make a wrong build commander, to be perfectly honest. You can do a lot of great stuff with him. Yeah, fantastic commander. 10 out of 10. Can recommend highly. And the only commander I can recommend more highly is Éowyn. My God, man. I could not believe the times when I would battle against a lower level Éowyn. And I just honestly was shocked at how much damage they were dealing to me. And it's because she's got a gimmick. And that gimmick is mounted units. And I dig it, man. Okay, so she's got mounted unit boosts over here, mounted unit boosts over there. You advance a little bit further, and at loyalty 5, mounted unit healing, mounted unit stun immunity. If you go all in with men as well, there's just so many ways you can specialize here. Oh yeah, and a freaking heal. Like, you take her to loyalty 5, you use all men, you use all mounted units, and you freaking crush stuff. And she is beast, man. She's super beast. 10 out of 10. She is S tier and deserves it. If you enjoyed this tier list, subscribe to the channel for Lord of the Rings Rise to War guides, tips, tricks designed to help you get value and smash your enemies. And if you're looking for a detailed guide around the sort of 4 stages of the game and how you dominate your enemies, just in 4 quick steps, how do you win? I have actually made that guide to help you get there. Card is up in the top. Check it out. And if you actually want to see me play like the first day of an account, I just went through that. I live streamed it. All the card up in the top. You can check out that stream. We did a restart that's going very well, I would say, with, I don't know how many hundreds of players we have, but probably 300 or so players that are really kind of sticking with it and doing the grind aggressively. We had about 500 in the Discord server. And so, some number of people are just watching but not actually playing, and then a whole bunch decided to jump in. And, look, people are saying we're just going to destroy our server, but, I think the reality is that there's plenty of ways to get some good fighting here and to have a lot of fun. And then servers merge at some point, and who knows what'll happen, okay? But this should be a very fun experience, and I don't know, to the critics of smashing the server, I'll say this. This is important, okay? It is very important you play this game with people you have fun playing with. We are having so much fun in this group. It is ridiculous how fun it is to be playing with this group. It's just, you want to play with people who are as interested as you are, and we have people that are pretty obsessed. And so any time of day or night, you can send a message with a question, and someone will have an answer. because they want to answer, because they're as hyped about the game as you are. Someone at pretty much any day and on any given day seems to be ripping open some Mathem medals, and you can watch because they stream it in Discord, which is pretty cool. So that's all I'm going to say about that. All right. People are like, ruined server, but like, we're having a lot of fun, and playing it any other way, find a group you really want to be with. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Hopefully you enjoy the tier list. I don't know why I went on this side rant. I don't know. Someone left a comment that I guess I felt like I needed to respond to it here for some reason. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies.